Alright, this should be on. Oh, oh, no. Okay. I think I'm mostly good. Hi guys! Yay! Whew. Sorry about the delay. It's always kind of a mess on the weekends to get started. I still have part of my lunch in here that I gotta eat at some point. So hi everyone. I see that Otto is here. Hi Otto. Ethereal Ode, Sikaboo, Cyan, Victor, Grace, April, Temple. Hi everyone. Oh, I'm glad it's kind of freezing right now. It's not freezing here, but it's really cold. And I definitely prefer this to the absurd heat we had this summer. Oh, I still need to pull up the reference for this. Sorry, I'm always kind of running about on Caturday. Thank you so much, Otto. Yes, I had a good birthday. It was a really nice day. People were really kind. I got a lot of birthday wishes, and those made my day a good day. So, yep. Still have this one that is sketched out but not inked. But I have to ink. Gonna be grabbing food. I hope you don't hear all the crunching of my snack. Didn't have vegan cake because that's kind of difficult to find around here, and a whole cake for 2 person is a bit extreme, and I am not gonna cook myself my own cake on my birthday. No way. So we had chocolate fondue. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Yeah, I mean, absurd heat for Montreal. Of course, there are much hotter places on the planet, but for us, sorry, still stuffing my face. For us, like 43, 45 Celsius, that's way too hot. No, no one had cupcakes. The only vegan cake that I have easy access to is some kind of allergen-free cake from the grocery store, and it's okay, but it's not amazing, and it's always like a big cake. Ah, yikes. I hope I didn't put black ink on my face right now. That's something that happens with this one every once in a while. I don't know why, but ink. I think my platinum carbon pen might be due for a bit of a cleanup. Like, it's easily been a couple of years since I cleaned it up, so maybe it's I owe it kind of a cleanup. Man, mess. I possibly have black on my face now. Black ink. Something that is not awesome with this ink is that it feels a bit tacky, like just a bit. And in that regard, I always have a moment where I'm terrified that I cut myself and that it's blood actually. Like, I'm really good at paper cutting myself, or just, you know, snagging something somewhere. And that's why I always carry Band-Aid and rubbing alcohol wipes with me, because I know it happens. I'm always like hurting somewhere, so I always have a moment of panic when I get a leak from this pen, because I'm like, uh-oh, did I, what, where is it, where's the, okay, fine. I'm also making an effort to wear decent clothes, so a leaky pen is not a great friend of, you know, keeping clothing clean. Thankfully a lot of my wardrobe is black, so let's cover up the rest and see if I can ink this without making a mess. Oh, I'm glad that you ordered this fountain pen. Although it's a really nice one. It can be a bit messy, but like really not often. Sometimes it will bloop a drop of ink, like sometimes. But like I said, I think that's just a sign that mine needs to be cleaned up. It's been a really long time since I cleaned it up, and I don't use it every day, so there could be something in here that inky fingers. A friend of mine calls that artist hands. Yep, inky or paint. Oh wow, okay, Tsukabu, I will be writing to you about that. I think I need to pour a couple of, I think some pans need to be leveled up, but yeah, we can discuss that. As soon as it's ready, I will be sending it over to you, of course. Yeah, it's really easy to write with this one, and the less pressure you put on it, the less chances of like leaking, or I think why it leaks sometimes is that this is not a screw-on cap. This is just a, you know, a pressure cap, and I think that when I perhaps press it on, I don't think there's a hole in the tip. No, there's no hole. So I think it might create a vacuum, and that's why the ink sort of pulls out of the pen. Might have to clean the cap as well, because it's full of ink. Kind of there's cat hair in there, there's there's everything. Yeah. yeah, you really don't need a lot of pressure, and the extra fine makes for a really, really nice fine line of waterproof ink. So yeah, it's a great one. I hope everyone is doing well today. Hey Michael Ann, hey Taylor, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I bought this pen from Amazon. It's fairly easy to locate. It's the Platinum Carbon pen. It's about $10, and it's the extra fine nib. It looks like this. It's what they call a desk pen, I think. And it's pretty awesome in that it's super affordable, and the ink is waterproof. And you can just buy cartridges and refill it with cartridges. Yeah, that street performance you sent me to was pretty amazing. I love the street performances that just make everyone a bit confused at first, and then you sort of realize that it's just awesome. All right. And this little guy here is Topaz. He is a missing cat. He ran away from home. And yep, so I got an email asking me if I perhaps wanted to draw him today. Because I have kind of this good luck so far with these drawings, in that whenever a cat goes missing that I know of, and that I get to a point where I feel like I really want to draw them, I think there's been what 3 occasions so far, and within 24 hours the cat came back. So I think that's kind of funny. So yeah, just because I like to draw cats anyway. So just for giggles, they sent me pictures of the missing cat, Topaz, and I drew him. And I'm gonna be using gouache on this guy. The guy on the right looks like this guy that used to pick me up. Oh no! Oh no! Well, it's a tortie, so that's a lady. She's a badass lady. She's like, don't mess with my friends. Even the one that looks like is really, really shady. So yeah, Topaz, go home. You're missed, go home. Oh no, again, I think I sort of pulled it too tight. Let's be gentle with this one. Okay. Let me grab some of my crunchy snack. So, I have a bunch of gouache. When I say a bunch, I mean a bunch. Not exactly sure which colors I want to use yet. It's a bit of a mess in there. Not really on camera, but I have this bin here. Has a tray full of gouache and then more gouache. Mostly Holbein, because I really like their gouache, even if I haven't used it much. Yeah, I could make a pinhole in the cap, but I think the cap is really thick. So I will tinker with this at some point, but I think it's going to be more of a crafting project than I want it to be. So okay, so I got more gouaches in there and even more gouache. Would you recommend Holbein over other brands? There's really not a lot of choice in gouache. I think if you buy Holbein, I have quite a few, but Holbein is great in that it has a lot of colors that are really fun. Hold on, I think I have a sheet. Yeah, it's the chart I use to track which colors I have, but I think Winsor & Newton, they make really nice gouache too, and it's affordable on Jackson's, but they don't have a lot of colors like see the Holbein, they have like pastel colors. Otto's favorite brilliant pink. There's a pink. You have more like ash blue colors. You have muted colors that Winsor & Newton don't offer, but then again Winsor & Newton has some colors that Holbein doesn't offer. I'm thinking of something like flesh tint. I don't have flesh tint, but I was looking at gouache yesterday, so that's the one that comes to mind. And then you have brands like M. Graham. They make super nice gouache, but it's more it's more like pure colors and dark colors instead of something that is more like a convenience mix. Brilliant pink. And then there is Horadam, the Schminke Horadam gouache that I've been looking at, but a bit. First of all, I think it has only something like what 24 colors. It's not a very big range, but the colors seem really nice. But yeah, they don't have like convenience colors. If you want more convenience colors, I think now it's mostly Holbein that has it. Winsor & Newton had a lot more fun, weird colors before. I have only one, and it was a gift from a friend. But it's like they used to have colors like this Carthamus pink that is like neon bright colors that are absolutely not light fast. But gouache was used by designers to do advertisements and posters, so the fact that it wasn't light fast was not an issue. They would just reproduce the thing and possibly put the original somewhere and forget about it, and it would degrade anyway. So that was not the whole appeal of this. So yeah, I think if you want to try gouache, Holbein, Winsor & Newton, possibly Schminke Horadam, and M. Graham are your best bets. But like I said, I still have to cover a lot more mileage with gouache. I'm not super experienced with it. I love it, but I still struggle a bit with how I want to use it. So I'm gonna be needing some white for sure. I know I have a tube of white somewhere that is always there when I don't need it. But when I need it, I can find it. There it is. This is why I wanted to use some beige and light gray paper as well, so that perhaps we can see if the white is interesting to use on these papers. And as far as palette goes, I'm tempted to use one of these. How does that sound? It's a basic color palette. Yeah, I saw the gouache sale on Jackson's, and it was mostly indeed Shinhan Pass and Schminke. Whatever you do, do not get Lucas designer gouache. I will not. Okay, so I'm gonna use this set. Space. I also I have another Holbein 18 color set, but it was the older color selection. It's a bit different, and I bought, I think one is like a certain like designer range and the other is like just regular range. And I love that Holbein has kind of an eye for catering to certain needs with their products. If you look at this one, this is, well, it got a bit ruined in transit, but this one is a landscape set. It says landscape color assortment. It doesn't fit in the bin, but yeah, you can see that it's quite different. It has a super bright pink, it has jaune brillant, turquoise green, lilac, aqua blue. Like I can see how they would have this one more for landscape. It has a lot of greens, it has blues for skies. Like this is Prussian blue, this is not like black or anything. So what do you think about the Holbein's new and old design? I don't know. I think I really loved the old design. It felt like it had this feel-good factor because I associated well, when you do perhaps sunrise and sunsets, if you want to get that super super nice light in the sky. Yeah, I'm a bit bummed that the box got ruined, but the paints were fine, so as long as the paints are okay, I'm okay. Later. Okay. So white gouache. Now the only thing I'm missing is my gouache palette that I haven't used yet. I got this one. I want to use it for gouache. It's a bit big. It's a bit hard to open. Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I really love the old design for the watercolor because it had like it was linked to positive memories for the whole buying tube. So when they changed it, I was a bit bummed because I'm like, oh no, they used to make me feel happy to see the old tubes. But I don't really have anything against the new design. It just doesn't mean anything for me right now. Perhaps with time it's gonna be meaningful again. So how am I into frame or not? Well, this is not gonna stay there, so how's this? It looks fine. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one as a sort of practice, and then I'm gonna paint Topaz after practice. Hopefully it will be a nice way to go about it. I won't mess up too much. This is not cotton paper. This is like cellulose paper. It's good quality. It's Buckingford, but still, it's not the same soaking level. So I'm not quite sure if I want to use synthetic squirrel or just synthetic brushes on this one. Let's try the Optimal. I can. Oh, this is a travel one. That's not the one I want. I haven't swatched these colors before, so it's gonna be fun. These guys are not named, and this is not a guy, this is a lady. On account of being a tortoise shell. It's not an easy word, guys. So some yellow ochre, some burnt sienna. Gonna be putting down some brilliant orange as well. No, it's okay. Well, it's a good thing it's a lady. That way it cannot be those mean guys from... My finger is all busted. I gotta find something to help me unscrew this. The only thing I'm missing is some form of scrap paper. I have a stash of it here. Yep. I have used the acrylic gouache a bit as well. The only thing that's more problematic with acrylic gouache is that it is not it is not rewettable. It is waterproof. So if you use it on a palette, you probably better off using it on something like ceramic or anything that is made for acrylics, because chances are you're not going to be able to remove the dry blobs of paints if you let them dry there. I've used it on disposable palettes and it's been working really fine for that. I really like it. I tend to use it like watercolor as well. Like I would dilute it, but if you want to dilute something like acrylic gouache, you should look for purchasing some airbrush medium, some matte airbrush medium, because that way you will be able to dilute the color, make it more liquid and more transparent without without making the binder weaker. So yeah. Oh, I got it. Hold on. Doesn't really smell much of anything. Yeah. Oh no, Grace. That's a bummer. Poor Sue. She's lucky though. She is really fortunate that she has you as a human, because you really take good care of her. For a beginner with gouache, what brand do you recommend? What is available to you? Hi, Lindy. Yes, acrylic gouache has a matte finish. That's why it's called acrylic gouache. It's a bit of a confusing term because a lot of people seem to think that because it is gouache, it's going to be rewettable, but it's definitely it's just matte acrylic. You live in America, so most brands are available to you. It really depends. Then I would suggest either try for something like Holbein, Winsor Newton, M. Graham, and possibly Schmincke. Try to stay away from any student grade gouache, because it's not gonna give you the good rendering qualities of gouache. cheap gouache is just sad. So can you compare using gouache like watercolor over adding white gouache? Oh, it's about the same thing. Really. I've used both. I've taken a class with the pretty awesome Nathan Fawkes, and basically the class was you had the range of watercolors and white gouache, and you would paint stuff with that. So all the dark colors are usually dark and transparent, and you don't add white in those, but when you want kind of to layer something to create more of a lighter sky or highlights, then you use the gouache and you mix it with colors. Yeah, cheap gouache is really, really sad. Cheap gouache is such a sad thing. I'm sorry. I keep thinking about it, but I'm like, it's tricky and transparent, and the colors are weird. Is this burnt sienna PBR7? Oh yeah. Oh, they use PBR7 and PR101. That's gonna be interesting. What is the burnt umber? I think you're better off buying good gouache in like a primary color set, like cyan, magenta, and yellow, and black and white, rather than a larger set of cheap gouache. Oops, there's a cat here on my brush. Yes, I agree with Rain. The Holbein 5-color mixing gouache set is really nice. Their white gouache, Holbein's white gouache, is really nice. There's one thing you can do if you already have watercolors and you're not sure you want to commit to buying a full set of gouache, is to just buy white gouache and try that in conjunction with your watercolors. Like I said, if you look at the artist Nathan Fawkes, it's Fowkes, Nathan. A lot of his studies, a lot of his landscape study paintings, they're made with a palette of about 12 to 15 watercolors and white gouache. Yeah, I have a lot of practice with Torty and their glare, because you saw my scout at the beginning of the stream. She has a permafrown. So I always make fun of her and draw her with the hugest eyes possible and that frown. She's our grumpy baby. Oh, thanks for putting the link to Nathan Faust's channel, Otto. You can see some of his demos on there, and that dude knows how to paint. Like, no shit. Yeah, he's amazing. If you want to look at the class, it's not cheap. It's on Schoolism, but it's the only class they had on there that was more about traditional medium when I checked last time I checked. And that's why I had a great time. And it's really nice class. It starts by having you do something like just black and white and get used to that, and then you slowly add in the colors. And his teaching he has a really soothing voice, and his teachings are really nice. It's a great class, but like I said, it's not super duper cheap. Scout has a wonderful frown. She does. And the funny thing is that she has like these if you look at her eyes, sorry, like something a bit darker, but let's say this is the frown. She has like huge black pupils in there, like this, and that's already frowny, you know. But in addition to that, she has patches of hair just above her eyes that give her like these bushy big eyebrows, a bit like this. And this one has like a streak in it that makes it a angry eye. So she's like a super duper frowny cat. And these are basically the only features in her face that pop out. Like the rest of her face is mostly black. So that's all we see. We don't see a nose, we don't see a nose, we don't see a cute little mouth. We just see frowny eyes all the time. It fits her really well. But yeah, it's also really funny. The fun thing with white gouache is that it lightens the color, but it also makes it cooler. So that's something to keep in mind when you use gouache. Like if you want to keep a color warm, if you add a lot of white gouache in it, it's going to cool it down. Even for colors like yellow and stuff that is really warm. And my own grumpy cat, yes. I really need to study cat patterns more. I'm definitely winging it, and I don't feel like it's doing me or the cat a service. Oh well. Artistic license, liberties, something like that. Artistic license. Let's put some other colors in there for the clothing. Where are these greens? Permanent green deep. Every time I see a color with the word deep in it, I'm always tempted to call it derp. Permanent green derp. Ultramarine derp. I took Nathan Falk's class that is something like, it has a really lengthy name, but it's about watercolor and gouache. He has only one that is about watercolor and gouache, as far as I know. Derpy colors. I think it's hilarious. Gouache has a really beautiful like transparency. Like, it's not, I don't really know how to describe it, but it doesn't feel like when you paint with a blob of watercolor, like it feels like it has a bit of opacity or like a thickness to it, but it's still transparent and it's like just pure color, but it's super easy to control. I don't think gouache likes to spread into water, so if you want to paint with watercolor but you hate the dispersion, perhaps using gouache as watercolor could be the thing for you. Landscape sketching in watercolor and gouache, that's the class. It's a really expensive class if you want teacher feedback. I did it in self-taught because almost everything I do art-wise is self-taught, but he's a really great guy, and even if you take it as a self-taught class, you will learn a lot if you do all the assignment and watch the lessons. Self-taught is $30 per month for the whole website. Yeah. When I subscribed, it was like half of that. It was like $15 per month, but it had a huge hike in price at some point. I was like, whoa. Yep. Like, if you have disposable income, that's pretty neat, but I cannot use any of my affiliate link for schoolism, so I had to stop my subscription. Besides, it doesn't have that many traditional medium classes. It's mostly digital, so it's munching time. Yeah, it's almost 1,000 for the critiquing. But these guys, like every single class on schoolism, is by like an amazing professional in the industry. Mostly animation, but I think there's a couple of classes on oil painting, and the guy is like crazy, awesome, impressive skills. So I feel like 1,000, it's a lot of money. Like it's what was the thing? Like it's expensive but not pricey, you know, like it's a lot of money but it's worth it. But it's a lot of money. Hey Paulo, hi. I hope you don't hear me munching too much. I can put the mic away. It's vegan yogurt with chocolate chip in it. I'm just gonna put this in the fridge. Right back. Ah. Yeah, vegan yogurt is pretty amazing. Like, it's either soy yogurt or there's a coconut brand one also that is pretty tasty. All right. That's not doing anything. Hey, welcome back. Is it really called yogurt if it isn't made from milk? I think so, because it's still the bacteria and the fermentation process is there anyway. It's just that instead of fermenting cow juice, it's fermenting other juices, plant juices. Oh no, are you still off soy, Otto? Yikes. Tofu! Tofu! Switching to a smaller brush. Cow juice. Oh no! Aw. I was so hoping soy would be fine. It's so convenient. Yikes! No dairy, soy, or coconut. So you would need something like rice milk yogurt, or like almond milk yogurt, I guess. I think you could get any kind of yogurt. Pretty sure you could have rice milk yogurt. Well, almond milk is pretty thin, and they can still make yogurt from that. I'm sorry. Oh no. Goat yogurt. My mom used to say that goat anything tastes like the back of the barn. And I don't know if I agree, but I've never tried kombucha. I think it's like a bit sparkly because of the fermentation, and I don't like sparkly things. Sparkly? I'm pretty sure that's not the name, the word I'm looking for. Well, maybe. You know, it has bubbles. I don't like things with bubbles in them. Goat yogurt tasted like the back of the goat. Yep, that sounds like it was the case. Or have you guys ever tried goat soap? It's just, why would I want to smell like goat? What? I know that's not the point of the thing, but I'm like, this is still what it smells like. Oh, carbonated, yes. Like kombucha, since it's fermented, it has this kind of, you know, stinginess, and I just don't like that. Yeah, we have goat soap around here, and it's just gross. Just like, yeah, they have it like in health stores and stuff, and I'm like, just ugh. No goats for me, thank you. Besides, goats are creepy. Like, ugh. I don't know. Goats creep me out. Something about the eyes that doesn't sit right with me. It does the same with octopi and like horses and anything that has elongated pupils really freak me out. Well, elongated, like not like the way the cats get super thin, like it's this line, but elongated in the other way. Not making any sense. They are cute, but then they look at me and I get really freaked out. Like I just get this, you know, the weird shiver, hair-raising thingy going on. It's just so weird. You guys are on fire with all the goat puns. I'm amazed that Grace hasn't come out with any. If you think I know what I'm doing, I'm not. I haven't played with gouache a lot this way, so I'm experimenting a bit with various results. And he says, I was in a French supermarket once and a lobster got loose. That's really funny. I don't think lobsters are really fast though, so it's easy to catch up with it. Okay, so why is that? Takoyaki looks amazing. I've never had it, but it looks good. But I'm wondering, why are you saying to never put a whole ball in your mouth in one go? Although I'm really curious about that. Did Jake Peralta call them squid donuts in the episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where he buys some for Charles? Because that's hilarious. No, but I see so many YouTubers go to Japan and do it, and I'm like, no, that's lava in your mouth. Oh gosh. Yikes. Okay, so it's. I think most people expect it to be like bread on the inside, like a bit like donut holes, because that's what it looks like. A takoyaki looks like a donut holes. It's good to know that it's still like lava inside. I'm all in favor of donut holes though. Or is that like a Canadian thing? Pretty sure it's not. Oh wow, Tsukabu. Llama sounds. Timbits? Oh yeah, Timbits are cake donut holes. Yeah, actually, I don't really like Tim Hortons. All my experiences with Tim Hortons were really, really disappointing. Bro, rattlesnake? Like as a food? Yikes! Was there anything else to eat? Sorry, I'm not good at eating everything. It was so good. Oh wow. Does it taste like chicken? Yeah, the few times I ate something from Tim Hortons, I can still remember what it was because it was really, really bad. And their coffee is just gross. The donuts are nothing to write home about, and I don't know, it's just... I grew up on Dunkin' Donuts, so maybe that's why I'm not super into Tim Hortons. It is weird and strange. I could just make ugh. Blech. Yikes. Like chicken? Yes, yes, Paulo, like chicken. Stringy and lean. That's basically chicken. Or dinosaur. Yeah, that's true. Dunkin' Donuts or go home. Yes! Yes, I agree. I don't know why. But like I love the Dunkin' Donuts donuts. Even if not, they would probably really hurt. But when I could still have dairy, I would eat them, and they would be like so sweet. I would get migraines and headaches, but I still had them because it was worth it. It was completely worth it. But now most of the Dunkin' Donuts around here are closed, are closing. So we're stuck with Tim Hortons. I gotta check out my reference for this kitty. Where is it? Come on, baby. Oh, there it is. Oh, what a sweet boy. Oh no, you guys are also out of Dunkin' Donuts in the UK and Japan. Oh no. What is the default donut place now? Okay, so let's try to do right by this guy and paint him well. I'm glad I took the other drawing as a practice because a lot of sort of fails happened on it, but I feel like making the mistakes on the other drawings will help me not make them on this one. So this cute little guy is named Topaz, and I don't know how to say this properly in English, so Topaz will have to do. And he's missing. He ran off. Because kitties are silly and they like to run off, and you're like, no, come back, kitty, you're gonna be missing your litter box and your free food. UK Krispy Kreme, Japan, Mr. Donuts. I've never heard of a Mr. Donuts before. We have Krispy Kreme here too, but it's not the same. It's such an American thing. Even if Dunkin' Donuts is also an American thing, like since it was there when I was a kid, I would see it around. It was like part of here. While Krispy Kremes, we didn't have that, so it didn't feel as much as it was part of this place. Grace says, I have never heard so much approval for Dunkin' Donuts. Is it better outside the States? You don't choose to go there here. It happens by poor life choices at 3 a.m. I don't know. I think they're all closed down except for maybe 1 or 2. So it's hard to say, but it was what was around when I was a kid, and whenever we would get donuts, we would get Dunkin' Donuts, and they were fine. Like, I have fond memories of Dunkin' Donuts. But, yeah. I don't know, perhaps if I had a Dunkin' Donut now, I would be like gagging on it and be like, ugh, this is really awful. How did I ever enjoy this? But as a kid, it was the next best thing, you know. A weird set that doesn't come with magenta. Or does it? Oh, that's supposed to be magenta? What? How is this magenta, guys? Okay, guess which one is magenta. Come on. Doop 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 doop. I mean, seriously, this one is violet and this one is magenta. This is not magenta. This is not. Let's open it. Yeah, that's purple. What? That's the same color they have for like bright violet in the watercolor range. It's not magenta. Neither. Good answer. Okay, let's take a look at the magenta from the SMIC set. Let's open the box. Try. Okay. So this is the primary color mixing set. It should have primary magenta. So that's already better looking than the other one. And yeah, that looks like real magenta. It doesn't look like purple one. Well, that's a weird naming convention there. The purple one. Sorry. Oops. I bumped the mic. Sorry again. I'm leaning back to check on the reference that I was sent. I'm only like following it really loosely. Besides, it's branded, so I don't want to. Yeah, come home, Topaz. You are missed. your humans are missing you. I always feel sad when babies run off. I don't even want to have to live through that because it's just the worst and you feel awful and stressed out and basically impossible to function because you're made of worry when that happens. Why is everybody talking about pizza? So Lee is asking, I know this question is totally off topic, well, not so much, but I figured some people here might know the Michelot Mission White. Does anyone know if the same can be achieved with the Mission Gold and White Gouache? You can try. I mean, try it out. If you already have Michelot and you have White Gouache, by all means, just have fun with it and see how you can make it work for yourself. I don't have the Michelot Mission White, like the hybrid gouache watercolor ones. I don't have that, but I tried the Shinhan Pass ones. They're very similar, and I think you can have a very similar fun with using watercolors, especially if you use watercolors fresh out of the tube and white gouache. Oh, okay, Victor asked what toppings he should get on his pizza. Pizza. Well, if you can have it, I would say definitely cheese. Because cheese really shines on a pizza. Oh no, Otto, poor James. Oh, I'm pretty sure he gets it though. He seems like a really understanding person. It's better to be cranky and know why. Like, better to be cranky and know that it's because of caffeine. Just be cranky and not know why. Like, snapping at people for no reason is never fun. And yes, I am looking at you, hormones. This is your doing. What a pretty boy! I'm looking at my reference. He is so cute. Topaz, you really need to go home. You're way too pretty to stay outside. So far I have pepperoni and donuts. Oh, yikes. Is it like this thing where people make a burger out of a Krispy Kreme donut for the bread? It sounds awful, but I think it's a thing. You don't think of cheese as a topping on pizza? You have plenty of karma chips. That's so funny. I don't think I'm cranky when I'm off caffeine, but I get like I don't feel great on caffeine. Like, my heart rate is not great. Like, anxiety is already bad. I don't know for you guys, but anxiety, I was thinking about it the other day, and it's a bit like you would have like a ghost reach through your chest near the solar plexus and just grab whatever is in there and squeeze it. That's the feeling, the physical feeling I get when I have anxiety. And like caffeine from coffee just makes me feel that even if I'm not anxious. So it makes me get anxious, so I feel even worse. And it gives me stomach aches. So yeah, so basically all I drink is tea, and I love tea, so that's fine. A cronut. No, a cronut is basically you take a croissant, a dough, you know, the flaky dough, and you cut it like a donut, so you around with a hole in the middle, and you fry that. That's a cronut. That's a croissant donut. So it's a flaky fried donut shaped thing. That's a cronut. Oh, I see, Otto. I see. Yeah, I am okay with tea. I can have tea so far. I hope I can enjoy tea for a long time still. But I don't know why coffee really like messes me up. And I'm sad about it because you know, coffee is delicious. It stinks after, and the coffee breath is disgusting. But I mean, drinking a coffee the moment you drink it, that's a fun experience, right? Oh yeah, coffee is super acid as well. So you have the caffeine wreaking havoc, you have the acidity wreaking havoc number two, and then you have like on a bad day you have anxiety being like, hey, forget about me, I'm still here. Oh, you thought you were having a great time, just wait until I show up. I love how my mix of burnt umber and ultramarine derp separates. Like it kind of granulates really lightly because this is gouache, but I think it makes for a really nice effect. Yeah, coffee breath is the only worst thing I've seen than coffee breath is smoke breath. Someone who just had a cigarette and they come back in. That's the worst, number one worst breath. And then coffee breath. This is just like puke worthy. Coffee breath on a smoker is worse. Oh, that's like the worst combo you can have. I agree that that's disgusting. I drink coffee while I smoke cigars. Don't talk to me after. Or if you come talking to me, I will be expecting you with the mint spray. You know, the fresh breath mint spray. I can think of one worse breath, but it's definitely not a rating that I can mention on the stream. So, yep. Yep. That's right. I'm pretty sure yogurt, like in general, yogurt will stink if you leave the container like on your table when you're done and you don't throw it out. That usually stings, but I don't think I've ever smelled yogurt breath. I don't think that's really problematic as much as other things. Hey, I didn't say it, Grace. I did not say anything. But I've heard stories. And yikes. Yikes. Raw garlic is not great, but I mean, like, I think there's a difference between thing that stinks, like onion, garlic. Those are stinky. But coffee and smoker breath are just like gag worthy. Like if someone has a garlic smell, I'm gonna be like garlic breath. I'm gonna be like, ugh, that's not great. I can offer you a mint, but I'm not gonna be like focusing on not puking. While coffee breath and smoker breath, that's just absolutely unbearable. Oops, that's a bit too much. But now I'm curious. I can tell you on Facebook if you really want to know, but you don't need to know. Otto, what about Mitsuwa? Is that the name for the kind of young garlicky thingy that's a bit pink? It looks like a shoot. My dad often chomps on raw garlic when he feels like a cold coming up. It's gotta work because he's not sick often. Coffee aroma is great. Like opening a tin of coffee or preparing a cup of coffee, the smell is awesome. But it's the breath afterwards. Like, how can something that smells so good, first of all, doesn't really taste what it smells like, and then stinks so bad once it's through someone's mouth? What's going on there? What's happening? A raw onion in a cup of coffee, yummy. Oh, that's so cool. Otto, it's not great that you're allergic to stuff, but it's great that together your allergies make you healthier. Is that Mitsuwa the? I think I can possibly draw it. I've only seen it in my Japanese cookbook, so I'm not quite sure I got the name right, but kind of looks like a shooty thing like that, and it has like kind of leaves at the tops, and it's kind of pinkish, greenish pinkish, like it's part of a plant, so you have like the roots over here and kind of the shoot there. And it's supposed to be like garlicky. I think I have it in a Tsukimono book, like a book about pickles. Because yes, books about pickles. I'm drawing the weird bulb that I can't remember the name. Hagen. Yay, Otto was able to know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is pretty cool looking. Look at the separation I get in my mix of burnt umber and ultramarine derp. It's really nice. I don't think I've ever had that kind of granulation from mixing watercolors. Oh, miyoga, that's the thing. Ah, miyoga, yeah, cool. Not garlicky, it's very aromatic. What does it taste like? Is it a bit like in the same family as onions and stuff, or is it? Oh, it's in the ginger family. One day, I want a garden and I want to grow all this stuff, and then eat it and be happy. Pickled ginger is delicious. I love to do benishoga. Quite on top of tofu. Can you still get it in Scotland? I went to a Japanese restaurant, like an izakaya, the other day, and they had shiso leaves. And I was so happy to see shiso leaves, and I'm like, yay! And I just ate the thing like a salad leaf. Are you into spicy foods? Depends. I haven't tried Shin Yoga. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Depends on the kind of spicy stuff. Like I much prefer a bit of spiciness to spices like curry or cumin, curcuma. I don't know what the names are. Perhaps I'm mixing my French and my English, but it's just that I think we all process these spices differently, and I know that onions and cumin, they don't really suit me well, but like peppers are a bit better. Shiso, yeah, sorry, I said it very Frenchly. Shiso. Shiso. I had pickled ginger yesterday with sushi. Yeah, turmeric is the very bright yellow one that doesn't taste like much. Cumin is the one that is more brown, but that's really aromatic. Whoa, that's a lot of... Oh, that's natto. The fermented beans. The one that supposedly smell like feet. Supposedly. I've never smelled natto, so it's all secondhand accounts. just wish I could read it though. So, Shinshoga is like this thin, rooty pink pickled ginger. Is it a bit like Benishoga? Like, I think the Beni one is really red and more like matchsticks. Oh wow, Scotch bonnet. Well, do you think, Otto, that eating so spicy is perhaps something that eventually didn't help having the ulcer in the first place? I'm just curious because I'm not super familiar with really spicy stuff. I'm more tame in my enjoyment of spicy things. I say tame, but what I mean is I'm a wimp. No, it's a tabby. I'm just I think my camera is probably making a weird mess of the colors, and I'm not sure what I'm doing exactly, so it's kind of a lot of trial and errors. It's supposed to be a tabby. Hopefully it will look like a tabby when I'm done. It's the whole ginger rather than shredded like bean sugar. Oh, ooh, interesting. Oh, ginger is so delicious. Can you still have ginger, Otto? Or is it too spicy? Competition for the spiciest food. Yikes. Do they distribute the Tums afterwards? Like the antacids? Aww. Whoa, you guys are really into the hot stuff. I think it's great that with spicy stuff there is all levels of it. So basically everyone can be happy with spicy stuff. If you like mildly spicy, well, you can use the lower, like the lower what's the scale for the spiciness of things? Scoville? Is it the Scoville? Anyway, you can use like the lighter peppers and stuff. And if you really like spicy stuff, then there is like all these ghost peppers and like the really hot stuff. 1 chip challenge for chips made with ghost peppers. What? I feel so sorry for these guys' stomach. Wow. Oh, that's insane. Ellen Kelly says, where I worked once, the same place I mentioned, we sold an extract hot sauce that you had to be over 18 to buy and had to sign a waiver. It recommended 5 drops per gallon. And at 5 drops per gallon, it's spicy, right? I can do this. I cannot. Spiciness, not my strong suit. It's not the color I want. Oh! Victor, that doesn't sound like a fun experience. Victor says, first time I had ghost pepper, I could feel it going through my digestive system, and I'm pretty sure it comes out just as hot. You can map all the way down. Oh, gosh, nope. Hey, Kiharu. It's nice to see you. Oh, I can't. I can't. All the spicy stuff. So I think I'm mostly done on this guy. Do you think it's missing anything? Yeah, I agree with you, Temple. Not going anywhere near a ghost pepper, it's okay. I can live without that experience. Same for me. Absolutely the same. Like, I've struggled with some spicy Thai curries, so that's really not for me, the real spicy stuff. I like to be able to feel the food in my mouth when I eat it. Oh, whiskers. That guy has white whiskers. Let's try to make this look good with the white gouache. It's kind of difficult because white gouache tends to dry much lighter. Like it looks good enough when it's wet, but when it dries it becomes more transparent. And I don't really like using gel pens. I feel like the tips are all way too big. Like they don't make a really fine, precise white gel pen. White ink is the same. I have the same issue with white ink, that it dries much more transparent. Oh, thank you so much, Otto. It's really difficult to paint a tabby. Oh, thank you guys. Really kind words about this new gouache experiment. Let's look at this one that is probably dry by now. Yeah, this is not my most favorite drawing ever, but experimenting will do that, you know. You try stuff and it doesn't always pan out well, but you learn from it. Now, if only I could learn to keep my stuff in places where it's easily accessible. Let's try and remove this one. Oh, thank you guys. Now, yeah, the only thing that's missing now is for this guy to come home. Oh yeah, that ripped off the paper, all right. Did it? Maybe it stayed with the glue I used, because there's nothing on the tape. Oh yeah, I think these are handmade blocks I made, so yeah, I was testing it out and I don't think it's that great. Like, it ripped off some of the paper. Hello, Rowdy. Hello, kitty. Anyway. I'm really gonna have to try more gouache on watercolor paper. Yeah, that's orange. Oh, there's a young tabby there, a young orange tabby. And a dirty and a really badly grown kitty there. That's funny, Victor. Wasabi is really something else. I think wasabi is more like a mustard, isn't it? Like, it really gets up in the nose. Yeah, I've never had real wasabi either. I hope I get to taste it someday. It's pretty cool. Like the root, the green root that is being ground like on the spot for you. Real wasabi instead of the green horseradish powder. I mean, the green horseradish powder is not awful, but it is horseradish. So I'm pretty sure that real wasabi doesn't taste like that. This is not dry yet, so I'm a bit hesitant to peel it off the block and remove the tape. So I think the areas with the tape are dry. Wasabi needs really clean water, so it's grown in the most beautiful mountain settings. That's so cool. I think it's quite rare as well. I have a trouble with Dijon mustard, so yeah, horseradish and wasabi would possibly be really painful, but still, I would love to try it just a tiny bit. You know, I don't have to put a big pile of wasabi on top of something to taste it. And now make this really happen. Go home, baby cat. Go home. Oh yeah, they grow wasabi in England? Really? That's really interesting. What about mustard greens? Do those taste like mustard a bit? So I guess I'm mostly done here today, unless you have any questions that I can maybe answer or test out before I leave. I can do the quick recap while this goes over the delay between me speaking and the streaming. But yeah, so today's plan was to test out how to use gouache more like watercolors. So by having it more diluted and more transparent, but still that when it's dry you can overlap it, and it's, instead of being more have the depth and the transparency of watercolor, it's a bit more flat and muted, and see what can be done with that. This was the first thing I did, kind of an experiment, and yeah, some good, some bad. I'm not super happy with this side, but I think the dark color I was able to get from mixing burnt umber and ultramarine deep is really nice, and overall the colors, they come out kind of nice and flat and smooth, so that's good. Then I drew and painted this little boy named Topaz that is missing, in the hopes that he will go home. Because so far, when I've drawn, I think I've drawn 3 kitties that were missing, and all the times they came home within 24 hours. So perhaps we'll be lucky again and make this 4 out of 4. So Topaz, if you can feel this with your cat spirit, go home. Just go home. And yeah, again, it was really fun to use the gouache here. I love that you can put some white on top of colors and get a bit more nuance and depth, and also like super awesome granulation even if it's gouache, which is not something perhaps that one would expect, but it still worked really nicely here. I will be posting possibly on Twitter, so you can check out my Twitter. It's basically fbolt on Twitter. It looks like Topaz has a hat. Yeah. It's supposed to be a box, but yeah, it kind of looks like he has a gnome hat. I have a magenta in another set of Holbein gouache. It's not in this set, but there is a primary magenta in the primary colors set, which is kind of a no-brainer. So you have more of a cool magenta color here, and I don't know if this... What about this one? No, this one doesn't seem to have a real magenta either. This is the other 18 color set. It has jaune brillant, which this one does not have, and yellows. It has more oranges than this one, I think. It has terre verte, which this one doesn't have. Peacock blue, ultramarine deep. I think this one has turquoise blue instead. And it has Prussian blue and Chinese orange instead of the violet and magentas. Then there is a raw umber instead of the burnt one. So there's some overlap of colors, but there's also many different colors between both sets. Oh, thanks for putting up the Twitter link, Otto. Oh, and all the other links. Wow, thank you so much. Also, if you guys are interested, there's a Discord link in the description if you want to join up the fun. We post a lot of animal like pet pictures there and chat about art stuff. And I've made a swap channel recently, so perhaps there will be some action about, you know, supplies that I can't use. I might be posting about them there. So that's a place you can check for that stuff and just chat with us, because we're all nice people. And yeah, the PO box is, oh, I forgot, wait, PO box. I got a super cool postcard this week that made me laugh a lot. So picture yourself, I get to the post office, I open my PO box that's about almost eye level with my face, and I see this. Okay. So fish and egg and radishes and a seagull. So this beautiful postcard was sent to me by Mary, I think. Yes. So it's pretty epic. And there's like writing. It says, hold on, but it says Born Homes. It's a place in I can't read it. Anyway, so yeah. Pretty cool. So if you happen upon a postcard that you really want to send me, either because it's weird like this one or because you think it's really cute, I have a PO box and the address is in the description. So yeah. And I always try to show the super cool stuff that you guys sent me in the live streams. So yeah, that's a pretty awesome card. Okay, so now I'm done for reals. So have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will, if I get any update on Topaz, I will post it on Twitter and let everyone know if this little guy came home, which he definitely needs to do. And in the meantime, if you have gouache, go ahead and try it. Have fun with it. If you have pets, go ahead and give them hugs. And have a great weekend. And also a great big thank you to Otokano for being an awesome mod, and also go check out her channel. And also thanks to Grace for being a great mod as well. So thanks everyone for being there, and have a super awesome great weekend. Bye bye.